Hello and welcome back to Copic in the Craft Room. Michelle Houghton here, and we are going to be doing some coloring, and then I'm going to attempt a pop-up card. Now, those of you that have watched videos from me before know that I am not a super card maker, so this is going to be a challenge for me today, but I'm going to attempt it. I am using some beautiful stamps by Dare to be Artsy. This is one of their sets that they recently came out with called Flowers for Mom. And I really like the detail in these. It does lend itself to some pretty simple coloring. It doesn't take a whole lot of detailed shading because there's so much going on in these beautiful flowers. And in January, I took one of these flowers and I colored it using the color of the year, the Pantone color of the year, which is a greenery color. And so they had kind of put some color selections together using that color. And so I used a group of those colors and it just really turned out beautiful and rich. And I just did a simple post about it on my blog, but I thought I'm gonna come back to those colors because I liked it so much. And I'm gonna work on all three of the flower stamps that are in the set. So I've stamped those out. I've got some spares off to the side just in case, but I'm literally gonna go through and I think do all the greenery at once. I'm gonna do those blooms and kind of, as I work my way through those colors, I'm just gonna do it all at once on each flower. So I'll do my RVs on this flower, then come over and do my RVs and do my RVs. And so it's a little bit different route for my coloring that I've done in the past, but I think it's gonna work. Just something different for today. So I'm gonna zoom in and of course I will speed up and then I will voice over so you guys know what I'm doing and try to do my best to get those titles on so you know what colors I'm picking up. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting with a YG21 and basing those leaves. YG25 is next, and then a YG67 is going to be the deepest shadows. I'm blending that back with YG25 and YG21. The YG67 is just going into those little individual details on the edges of the leaves. On the next leaf, again, same three colors. YG21 is basing that entire leaf. YG25 works up the stem and then from the center of the leaf out, similar pattern. Now I am paying attention to the shapes and details that are in the leaves. And then YG67, again, you'll notice I'm working from that inner core of that leaf or vein on that leaf and kind of flicking outward, blending with YG25. And then YG21 just a little bit on the stem to smooth those out. YG67 goes around the edges of the leaf again just to add those little details. So there's going to be areas that I just fill in on this image, on these images, sorry. And then I'm switching over to my RVs. And this is my RV 19. I'm working all the way around that bloom, and then RV 69 to work from the inside out. And I'm just going to pick sections to do that with. The RV69 also went around some of that inner edge. Back to RV19, and this is going all the way around that outer edge. And then RV69, I'm going from the corner of each of those scallops and out, just flicking like one little flick out in each direction, holding on to that RV69 and going around this little tiny scallop, again, just filling those in. And then the tiny petals around the center of the flower. So lots of RV. RV19 is going to base kind of this middle section on this next flower. And the little petals near the bottom, or petal shapes, sorry. And then these kind of almost like a crown top of this bloom. RV69 is next, and it is going kind of from the base of each of those sections up. It's also going up that top layer. I'm going to kind of go up one side of each triangle to add a little bit of interest. Blending those together with RV19. And I've got one more bloom to do, so RV19 again through the center of this one on this petal kind of ring that goes all the way around. I just keep turning that so I can get into those little individual places. And then the RV69 flicks from the center of the petals outward, RV19 to blend. And then I go back to RV19 to get those outer scallops, similar to the other bloom. RV69, again, one flick out from each of those corners, and then also filling in the dots. There's my RVs. So next I'm going to play with R08 and R39, R08 again. This is going to take a little longer because it's going to go all the way around, and I'm going around those outer dots. And then the R39 is going to add shading at the base, and it's going to work up into the corner of those scallops to add some roundness, softening that up with the R08 again. The Y26 is just going to fill in some areas, and it's going to fill in the edge around the petals and kind of that inner ring. And then I'm sticking with that Y26 to come over the next bloom. Again, I'm just filling in some sections with this color. And I just stick. It was easy to do those pieces. So again, I'm picking pieces for that Y26, some dots on the flowers and top. Then switching back to R08, I'm going all the way around that outer scallop and the inner kind of petal ring, that outline, and the center of the flower. Then R39, going to go up right in the corners of each of those scallops. You can see, even without any blending, how that's rounding that out. A little bit of shading on the center of the flower. And I come back and blend with R08 on the center and on that outer petals. It's so small in the inner one, I don't need to. I'm going to use that Y26 real quick to clean up those edges, and then I added that to the outer tiny petals on the small bloom. R39 and R08 coming in on my third bloom in the teardrop shapes, the inner, kind of the outside, those petal shapes, and then all the way around these little flowers. This one takes longer just to get into those details. A little bit of R39 to add shading along that bottom edge and to blend with R08. I'm adding R59 to the petals of the flower, and then I'm going to start this card. So I have everything cut, but you're going to see right away I'm going to do some manipulating. I have this base piece that I'm attempting to attach 2 hills to, and it's going to attach to the card. And I have to do some extra taping here and there as I go because I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. And I have to cut a small chunk out of the middle hill so it's going to fit inside its little slot. You'll see when I stop here and show you the card a little bit slower. This doesn't work perfectly, so I have not included measurements, but I want to encourage you, if you want to try a pop-up card, there's some great measurements on other people's sites. Mine does not work perfectly, but if you want to just go for it and try, you certainly can get that effect by creating kind of a tri-fold shape that fits inside of your card. I have these little chipboard elements that have fabric on them that actually color up really pretty with Copics. So I added 2 clouds and a sun. I've trimmed down my flowers, and I added some light green in between those little details on the leaves so I can just cut around them and tape them in. I love having all those Copic colors because that'll help me hide the fact that I did not fussy cut around those details. Then of course I'm readjusting my card as I always do, popping up that last flower, and I am good to go.
So I have this little pop-up card all finished. Now, obviously I am not an expert at these, and I did not look up any measurements. I was just experimenting with the piece underneath to see if I could get 3 layers. And I've got the 2 hills and then the third sitting back on the card base. I added a little bit of layering by popping up that last flower. The issue is when you fold the card closed that now we have things hanging out. So obviously not an expert at the pop-up cards, and if I open it too far, I can still see the white. Now this I could cover, and I think I will, with that dark green, just so it doesn't kind of create an eyesore on the card. But you get the idea. I've got these fun little flowers that are definitely popping right up at you. For a fun little card, I can put it in a larger envelope and still have that fun effect, and it's gonna sit on a table really nice. So thank you, Dare to Be Artsy, for including me in your blog hop this week. Here is my 3D card, my first one ever. So Copic coloring and just gorgeous stamps by Dare to Be Artsy. Thank you so much for letting me share. For those of you that are tuning in because you're here to see this blog hop, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a new video each week, and that way you'll be kind of in tune with that. Always ask questions and make suggestions for new videos. I'm always checking those comments out and trying to respond right away. Lastly, if you have time and an interest, join us over at Copic in the Craft Room on Facebook for lots of Copic crafting inspiration. Thanks for joining me. Have a happy, colorful week.